So on X, there's a topic going around about Miles Morales, Spider-Man being more popular than Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond. So of course, a lot of people are back to like mocking the character. He's nothing but a Peter Darker. He didn't earn becoming Spider-Man, etc. And basically, what's my answer to this? Yes, Miles currently is more popular than Batman Beyond. When you put the emotions and the hurt feelings aside, yes, Miles is more popular of a character than Terry McGinnis at the moment. That doesn't mean that he's better written or he's a better character. He's just factually more popular. Batman Beyond was a hit series back in the 90s, and till this day, I mean, I still love that show. And I even own the entire like series on the box set, so I can revisit the episodes anytime I feel like it. But ever since the show ended, DC hasn't really done much with Terry, like at all. Yes, he has some tie-in comics, or he's appeared in like some shows like Justice League Unlimited here and there. But other than that, I mean, that's it. I mean, no new show, no animated movies or anything, nothing, nada, like, etc. I mean, yeah, I know he was in Return of the Joker too, but again, ever since the series ended, he's not been inside like anything ever since then. Okay. Meanwhile, Miles is the central protagonist of two Spider-Verse movies that was released in theaters. Plus, he's been appearing in more cartoons since Ultimate Spider-Man, and has a playable character in video games, one of which is his own. And you could also say, but Batman Beyond had a video game too. Yes, back in the PS1 days, whereas Miles has the games on PS4 and PS5 in current day. The last time people were really hyped about seeing Terry McGinnis and stuff was on the Crisis on Infinite Earths animated movies, but his original voice actor Will Friedle had like minimum speaking lines, and Terry was just there for the sake of just being there. And what's crazy is DC turned down a Batman Beyond animated movie done by who again? Oh right, the guys that did Spider Verse, which that was a big L right there. But yes, the fact of the matter is Miles Morales is more popular than Terry McGinnis. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is. And this hatred spawns from the culture war since Marvel has been trying to create diverse, usually female, legacy characters like Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop, or Ironheart. And because Eric July, which by the way, congratulations to Eric July, he finally has a newborn child. So congratulations to him and his wife. But where Eric July had made videos as to why he himself personally doesn't like Miles Morales, and then people just got all antagonistic and stuff over the character ever since then, because before that, no one really was like, complaining about Miles Morales or anything like that until he started making those videos as to why Miles is a tokenized version of Spider-Man or whatever. But even if he is a tokenized version of Spider-Man, that doesn't mean that he's not a likable character or he's not a good character or anything like that, but okay. Then other YouTubers and stuff like Nerdrotic, Thinking Critical, and so on had kind of followed suit and then started repeating what Eric kept saying and stuff like that, even though Eric doesn't like Batman Beyond or War Machine either. So are we just going to erratically just bash Batman Beyond and War Machine as well and stuff, bash those characters?
But what you will do is make 75-page essays on why Tim Fox doesn't deserve to be the Batman of the future.
He doesn't. There shouldn't even be another Batman. I think, and I've talked about how even Batman Beyond aged. Like, if you actually watch that as an adult, it's not good. That shit aged terribly. Nonetheless, yeah, he's Black Batman. Not interested. Not interested.
Without even having read the story for yourself, while praising Terry McGinnis from Batman Beyond for being literally the exact same thing.
Again, if you understood the argument, you could easily understand why this is a problem, right?
I didn't think so. And I get that during the time when the first Spider-Verse movie kind of came out, people definitely rode that train hard. But Miles is probably like the generational Spider-Man of today for kids. Kind of like how Jon Stewart and Wally West were like my first introductions to Green Lantern and The Flash, before I even knew who Hal Jordan or Barry Allen were. So it's not a disrespectful thing to Peter Parker because I just grew up with him more, or he was, he's the Spider-Man for me, of course. Besides, I'm sure a lot of us kind of watched the movies and cartoons first before we like read comics. So if someone kind of got into the comics because of Spider-Verse or was just generally interested inside Miles' character and stuff, then that's a good thing. And side note, Miles's comics is actually a lot more tolerable than Peter's right now, where he's struggling with vampirism, teaming up with other superheroes like Black Panther, Misty Knight, Doc Samson, and so on. And he's also involved with deities and stuff. That's kind of the type of things that I would expect or I want to read in a superhero story, not all this dramatic soap opera stuff that's happening with Peter and all that, where he's getting cucked by Mary Jane's garbage boyfriend Paul that nobody asks for and stuff like that, and Peter's constantly depressed. He's going through the tides of the trial and error, and it's a lot. It's very stupid. They don't know what to do with Peter Parker at this point. So, yeah, I think Miles is definitely a lot more tolerable to read, and I feel like that's probably something to fall back on right now than this stuff with Peter Parker. And again, there is no shade. Miles has his own agency outside of Peter, where his current run is almost close to 50 issues. He has his own villains like Prowler, Snatcher, Armadillo, Anari, White Cat, Maximus Gargan, which is Ultimate Scorpion, Ultimate Doctor Doom, Ultimate Omega Red, or Ultimate Taskmaster, which I feel like with Ultimate Taskmaster they could retool him a little bit, just change the name a little bit, because in the Ultimate Comics they race swapped Taskmaster to be black, and they changed up his power set, which I thought he had a cool look and design and stuff, and his abilities was kind of cool. So they could bring him back and just change his name from like Anthony Masters to something else, and I think that would probably be pretty interesting in my opinion. And then of course Prowler, but you could probably be like, well, Prowler already was a Spider-Man villain. Well, technically he wasn't really a villain; he was more of an anti-hero. But in case you don't know, the original Prowler is actually a guy named Hobie Brown, who was the original Prowler and stuff, and he got into a mix-up with Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and stuff like that. They actually had the potential to probably utilize Hobie Brown, but they never did in like the last 60 years of that character being around. So they kind of changed up his identity to be something else, and then eventually now people kind of know him sort of as Spider-Punk. So there's that. So right now they haven't really done nothing with that Prowler character, so I don't see why. Oh, well, they can't do that with Miles, with Aaron Davis's character, So yeah, because I think that's a lot more interesting. Where he's Miles' uncle, his problematic uncle and stuff. That's a criminal and stuff like that. And then the Ultimate Comics, he used Miles to commit crimes and stuff like that, and took advantage of him, which is pretty tragic in my opinion. So I think that's definitely quite a spin compared to if you're saying that Miles and Peter is just alike because they're uncles and stuff. Well, Miles' uncle is pretty bad, but okay. Anyways, and yes, he has actually lost people like his mom. He lost his uncle once. He was disowned by his dad, and you can also complain that his story is just a rehash of Peter's, even though Wally West has a repeat origin as well, just like Barry Allen. Where just like Barry Allen, Wally West was hit by a bolt of lightning at the exact place, literally by a bolt of lightning, and that's how he got super speed and became Kid Flash and then eventually The Flash. But anywho, or you could also just not like the fact that he's just a black counterpart to a white character, even though people like Jon Stewart, people used to like Calderon before they kind of messed him up inside the comics and Young Justice and all that stuff by trying to put the LGBT stuff on him, and that was just like a turn off. Or even currently right now, Mr. Terrific. People are loving Mr. Terrific from that Superman movie, right? Even though Mr. Terrific is the Michael Holt, the black one, he's actually the second Mr. Terrific. It's an already white character, so it's like, okay, so you guys don't have a problem with this version of the character, but you have a problem with this character. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of contradictions and stuff, and that's not a good thing, So I just feel like it's such a straw man to really hate on Miles at this point for these specific reasons. But tell me down below, what do you guys think?